But what if I told you that this exact penny, hidden in plain sight for decades, could be worth over $1 million? That's right, one tiny coin that most people overlook could change your life forever. The story of the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is shrouded in mystery. It begins in a time when pennies were being produced in massive quantities at the Philadelphia Mint, yet a handful of coins slipped through the cracks. Coins without the tiny P mark that should have been there. Most collectors never notice these errors, but for the sharp-eyed, this mistake became a treasure. Now, imagine the journey this penny took. From the mint, it entered circulation quietly, spent decades in pockets, piggy banks, and drawers, never once raising suspicion. Meanwhile, collectors were scouring the country, looking for rare coins that could be worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands. Yet this hidden gem was almost invisible. And today, if you find one, it's not just rare, it's life-changing. The answer lies in scarcity and perfection. The 1980 no-mint Mark penny is so uncommon that every coin found is treated like a jewel. Collectors are willing to pay incredible amounts, over $1 million, for one in pristine condition. Just think about that for a moment. A single coin that most people ignore in their spare change could be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. Here's the secret to spotting one. First, check the date carefully. The coin must clearly show 1980. Next, look at the area above the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side. Normally, a P mint mark is stamped near the date. If that P is missing, you could be holding the coin that collectors dream about. It's subtle, but once you know what to look for, it practically leaps off the page. Every detail matters. Examine the edges, the shine, the wear. Coins with no scratches, no fading, and sharp details command the highest prices. Even a tiny imperfection can reduce the value dramatically. This is why collectors will pay more for perfection than almost anything else in the numismatic world. Now, imagine the emotions of someone who discovers this penny in their own collection. Excitement, disbelief, a racing heartbeat. Maybe you've walked past it hundreds of times without even realizing what it could be. Or maybe it's hiding in a drawer, forgotten for decades. When that moment hits, when you realize the coin in your hand is worth $1 million, it's pure exhilaration. It's a story you'll never forget. The rarity of this coin is part of its magic. Only a few dozen verified examples are known to exist. That means the chances of finding one are incredibly slim, but they're not zero. Every coin collector holds a glimmer of hope, and every jar of pennies has the potential for a life-altering discovery. You don't need to be an expert to recognize it. You just need to know where to look and what to look for. While most people are spending pennies without a second thought, you could be holding a treasure. Others see a 1980 Lincoln penny and think nothing of it. You, however, can see possibility. The line between ordinary and extraordinary is thinner than you think. This penny is proof that if you're wondering what makes it so desirable, it's more than just the missing mint mark. It's a symbol of patience, observation, and a little bit of luck. Collectors who have spent decades searching for rare coins know that the thrill is in the hunt, and the payoff, when you finally find it, is unimaginable. A single discovery can turn a hobby into a fortune. Now let's reset for a moment. Close your eyes and picture yourself at the local coin shop, or at home, flipping through a stack of pennies. Your heart beats faster as your eyes land on one that looks slightly different. Could it be the 1980 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? Every detail now matters. The shine of the copper, the depth of the engraving, the faint absence of a mint mark. You can feel the weight of possibility in your hand. Many people dream of winning the lottery or inheriting millions, but few realize that sometimes fortune is hidden in the mundane, in everyday objects. This penny is one of those hidden fortunes. It's proof that life-changing wealth can be found where you least expect it, in a coin jar, a purse, or a drawer. Collectors who find this penny often describe it as a spiritual moment. It's not just about money. It's about history, mystery, and the thrill of discovery. It's a connection to decades of American history, to the minting process, and to the countless hands that have held it before you. Every scratch, every imperfection, tells a story, and the story of this penny could soon include your name. The date must read 1980. Examine the area near the date carefully. The absence of a P is your key clue. Condition matters. The closer it is to mint state, the higher the value. And remember, this isn't just a collector's curiosity. This is a coin that has literally made people millionaires. Imagine holding this penny, knowing it's one of the rarest in existence, worth a staggering sum. Every glance, every careful examination reminds you that sometimes the most incredible treasures are the ones hiding in plain sight. The thrill, the suspense, the life-changing potential, all wrapped up in a single tiny coin. Millions of pennies were produced in 1980, but only a handful escaped with no mint mark. Those few coins carry the power to transform lives, to create stories of sudden wealth, to turn a humble hobby into an unimaginable fortune. Million-dollar dreams can be real, and they're closer than you think. This is your chance to take action. Look through your change, check those drawers, search through the stacks you've kept for years. Every coin you examine could be the one that changes everything. And remember, this isn't just theory. People have already experienced the shock, the excitement, and the life-altering impact of finding this exact penny. A single penny sitting in your pocket change, quietly waiting, hiding a secret so powerful it could change your life forever. Not just any penny. This is a 1993 no mint mark Lincoln cent. And believe it or not, it could be worth over $1 million. Yes, a single coin, worth more than a house, more than a car, more than most people make in a lifetime, quietly waiting in plain sight. The story begins in 1993, when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies every year. Most of these coins went unnoticed, spent and forgotten, tossed into cash registers, jars, and loose change at the bottom of drawers. But a few were different. A few were created with a rare anomaly, no mint mark at all. For collectors, this is monumental. It's the difference between a penny worth a few cents and a coin worth 7 figures. The truth is, mistakes happen. Machines fail, oversight occurs, and what the mint never intended can slip through the cracks. And for the 1993 no mint mark penny, that oversight has created a coin so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors are willing to pay over $1 million to get their hands on one. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that could instantly elevate your life into the stratosphere of wealth. Here's where it gets thrilling. These pennies are hiding everywhere. In pockets, drawers, jars, old coin rolls, and even under couch cushions. And most people have no idea they're holding a treasure that could be worth over $1 million. Your neighbor, your friend, even a stranger at the grocery store could have one in their hand right now, completely unaware. First, look at the year, 1993. That's your starting point. Then, check for the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. Most Lincoln pennies will have a small letter under the date, a D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. But the no mint mark 1993 penny? Nothing. Completely bare. It's subtle, almost invisible to the untrained eye. Next, study the details. The 1993 penny should have a sharp, clear impression of Lincoln's profile, the lines of his coat, the shape of his face. Any distortion or unusual markings could mean you're holding something extraordinary. This coin is delicate, rare, and every single detail matters when it comes to value. Even minor wear could impact its worth. But the no mint mark version remains incredibly sought after in any condition. Collectors describe the moment of discovery as almost cinematic. Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies and feeling something unusual. It catches the light differently. The absence of the mint mark feels almost like a secret wink from history itself. And then it hits you. The possibility that this could be a coin worth over $1 million. A single coin, sitting quietly, holding the power to change everything. But the thrill doesn't stop there. The market for these pennies is intense. Dealers, collectors, and investors alike are constantly on the hunt. Auctions have seen prices soar, and every verified no mint mark 1993 penny ignites bidding wars. The demand is real, and the scarcity only adds to the mystique. You're not just holding a coin. You're holding a piece of American history that's almost impossible to find. Anyone could find one. You don't need insider knowledge, a hidden vault, or a treasure map. It could be sitting in your drawer, mixed in with everyday pennies you've collected over the years. The key is knowing what to look for. Focus on the year, check the mint mark, examine the details, and handle each coin with care. One moment of curiosity, one careful glance, and you could have just uncovered a treasure beyond imagination. Think about it. The emotions collectors feel when they find a coin like this are overwhelming. Shock, disbelief, joy, the kind of exhilaration that only comes once in a lifetime. It's a reminder that sometimes the universe hides extraordinary opportunities in the most ordinary places. And for those who act, the reward can be life-changing. This isn't just about money. It's about discovery, the thrill of the hunt, and the story you get to tell. Every coin has a journey, and for the 1993 no mint Mark Lincoln penny, that journey is one of rarity, mystery, and immense value. Owning one means holding a tangible piece of history and a potential key to $1 million future. So take a moment and look around. Check your jar of pennies, your old coin rolls, the loose change at the bottom of your drawer. Handle each penny with care, examine the date, search for the missing mint mark. It could be tedious, but the possibility is thrilling. And just imagine the life-changing moment when you realize, yes, this is the coin collectors have been hunting for years, the coin that could transform your life overnight. Every minute you wait, the opportunity is still there, quietly hidden in plain sight. A coin that could be worth over $1 million is out there, waiting for someone to recognize its value. You don't need luck, just knowledge, attention, and a careful eye. The story of the 1993 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of secrets, suspense, and unimaginable possibility, and it could unfold right in your own home. So start your search. Examine every penny, every jar, every pocket, every drawer. The 1993 no mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a story, a mystery, and a fortune waiting to be discovered. And for the collector who recognizes it, the reward is monumental. One coin, over $1 million, and a lifetime of bragging rights. But what if I told you that this coin could be worth over $1 million? Yes, you heard that right. A single penny, hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting to change someone's life forever. This isn't some fairy tale. This is real. The 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Most people think of pennies as pocket change, something you drop in a jar or toss on the counter. But a very rare few from 1989 were minted with a hidden secret. These pennies were meant for collectors, and only a tiny fraction escaped notice. And now, one of them could be worth a staggering $1.60 million. That the story begins in 1989 at a U.S. mint quietly producing billions of Lincoln pennies. Most got the familiar D for Denver or P for Philadelphia stamped clearly on the coin. But a very small number slipped through without any mint mark at all. A glaring anomaly in the eyes of serious collectors. How it happened is still debated, but that mistake created one of the rarest modern pennies in history. A coin that should have been ordinary, accidentally skipped a mark, and now commands a value most people only dream about. The emotional weight of that, a simple penny turning into $1 million treasure, is almost unimaginable. If you've ever sorted change, you know how easy it is to overlook a penny. But the 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is impossible to ignore once you know what to look for. First, check the front, the obverse side. Lincoln's profile should look familiar, crisp, clear, but the most important feature? The absence of the mint mark beneath the date. Most 1989 pennies have a D or P there. This one, nothing. Blank. That blank space is a clue worth millions. But it's not just the mint mark that makes it valuable. Look closely at the surface. High-grade examples, coins that haven't been worn, scratched, or cleaned, are the ones collectors fight over. The better the condition, the higher the potential value. Some of these coins have been sold in auctions for over $1 million, shocking the coin world and inspiring everyday collectors to search their pockets with new eyes. Imagine discovering one in your change jar, your wallet, or hidden in a box of coins from decades past. The mix of disbelief, excitement, and sheer hope, it's overwhelming. People have shared stories of finding coins they thought were worthless, only to have experts verify them and reveal that they were sitting on a fortune all along. That feeling, it's life-changing. Here's how to spot the coin with confidence. Step 1. Date. 1989. Step 2. No mint mark under the date. Step 3. Condition. Look for sharp details on Lincoln's face, hair, and the rim. Step 4. Weight and metal. These pennies are standard copper-plated zinc, but anything off can signal a forgery or modern reproduction. Always get a suspected penny verified by a professional coin grader before dreaming too big. These $1 million coins attract fakes. Even the smallest detail can make a difference. Some pennies appear to have a faint mark where the mint mark should be, or tiny imperfections that suggest a coin may not be authentic. Studying the coin under good lighting, magnification, and comparing it to authentic examples is crucial. Every potential discovery is a puzzle, and the payoff? A life-changing treasure that could literally be in your pocket right now. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine the thrill of holding something most people dismiss as worthless, only to learn it could fund your retirement, pay off your home, or finally let you take that dream trip. That's the allure of the 1989 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Ordinary to the untrained eye, extraordinary to those who know its secret. Collectors talk about the emotions tied to these finds, the disbelief, the rush, the pride of holding a coin that the world might never see again. Every year, more stories surface of people cleaning out drawers, sorting through loose change, and stumbling across these rare gems. Every penny has a chance. Every penny could be the one. There are likely very few of these pennies left in circulation. Millions of coins were minted in 1989, but only a handful escaped notice without a mint mark. That scarcity fuels the value, making even a single verified example worth a fortune. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can something so small, so common, possibly be worth $1 million? But history shows us this is exactly what happened. One lucky collector, armed with patience and an eye for detail, discovered a 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and within months, that ordinary coin became a $1 million story that made headlines in the coin world. So, if you're sorting coins this weekend, don't just glance at them. Study them. Appreciate them. Examine every detail, every date, every mint mark, or lack thereof. That could be the difference between passing by a life-changing discovery and holding a $1.6 million treasure in your hand. Remember, the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is more than just metal. It's hope. It's proof that sometimes life-changing opportunities are hiding in the most mundane places. Your pocket, your wallet, your old coin jar. A coin you toss aside today could be tomorrow's headline. And while the odds feel slim, every collector knows the thrill is in the search. The excitement of possibility, the suspense of discovery, the sheer joy when your eyes finally rest on that blank space under the date. It's electric. It's life-changing. So next time you handle pennies, don't ignore the ordinary. Look closer. Appreciate the small details. Examine every coin that comes your way. The 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of hidden potential, waiting for the right person to unlock its story. Most people walk past it every single day without even noticing. But today, I'm going to show you how one tiny penny from 1993 could make someone incredibly rich. And it might already be in your own collection. It starts with a story. Back in 1993, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of pennies. They struck coins for circulation across the country, for everyday transactions, never imagining that among these ordinary pennies, a rare few would slip through with a secret. A secret that collectors today are chasing with almost obsessive intensity. This rare penny doesn't scream $1 million coin. In fact, it looks almost identical to the pennies in your pocket. But there's a critical difference. One small detail that makes it extraordinarily rare: it has no mint mark, no tiny letter below the date. For most pennies, that's just the spot where the mint identification would appear: D for Denver, S for San Francisco. But some 1993 pennies, incredibly, don't have one. And that tiny absence? That's what makes it a collector's dream. Here's where it gets even more astonishing. These no-mint mark 1993 pennies were almost never intended for circulation. They were part of an incredibly limited batch, and only a few survived in excellent condition. That scarcity is exactly why a single penny could be worth over $1 million today. Imagine that. One little coin in your hand, potentially changing your life forever. Now, let's talk about how to spot it. First, look at the date. Make sure it's clearly 1993. Next, check below the date on the obverse side, the side with Lincoln's portrait. If you see no D, no S, no P, yes, even P for Philadelphia sometimes appears, then you might be holding one of these rare treasures. But it's not just about the missing mint mark. The condition matters tremendously. Coins that are scratched, worn, or corroded will never fetch millions. You need a penny that's sharp, clear, and perfectly preserved. Collectors often spend years hunting for these pennies. They scour rolls of coins from banks, attend estate sales, and even dig through their own change jars. And every time someone finds one, it makes headlines. Auctions turn into dramatic spectacles, with bidders practically fighting over a coin that most people wouldn't even blink at. One single penny from 1993 without a mint mark has sold for prices that would make your jaw drop. Million-dollar numbers. Figures you usually only hear in movies or read about in fairy tales. The story behind it is a mix of human error and serendipity. The mint was running at full capacity. Coins were stamped in enormous quantities. But somewhere along the line, a tiny batch of planchets, the blank metal discs used for coins, went unmarked. Some speculate it was a machine malfunction. Others believe it was human oversight. Either way, the result was a handful of pennies with no mint mark, quietly entering circulation, unnoticed by the public for decades. Every time I see one of these stories, I can't help but think about the lives changed overnight. People who casually found one in a jar, a drawer, or even under a couch cushion. A coin they may have taken for granted suddenly becomes a treasure beyond imagination. Imagine telling your grandkids, "I found a penny, and it made me a millionaire." That's the kind of dream this coin embodies. Now, let's reset for a moment. I know it sounds unbelievable. A single penny, worth over $1 million. But the reality is, this is exactly what collectors are confirming every year. And it's not a fantasy or hype. Certified coin grading companies have authenticated these coins, and they consistently command mind-blowing prices at auctions. First, always check your 1993 pennies carefully. Keep an eye on the area below the date. Don't overlook even pennies that look worn. Sometimes, these coins survive in circulation with just minor scratches. If you find one, have it professionally graded immediately. The grading determines its value and ensures that potential buyers trust its authenticity. And here's something that might surprise you. While collectors often focus on rare coins from the 1800s or early 1900s, the 1993 no mint mark Lincoln penny proves that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value. It reminds us that treasures can appear anywhere, at any time, in the most ordinary of places. Your pocket, your wallet, even your old coin jars. They might be hiding a life-changing secret. It's also important to remember the human side of this story. Many people who find these pennies experience a mix of disbelief and joy. The shock of realizing that what they once considered ordinary change could be worth millions is overwhelming. Some sell immediately. Others hold on to them for years, watching the value grow as word spreads and collectors chase the coin more fervently. Pay attention. Look closely. Don't ignore what seems insignificant. That small detail, the missing mint mark, can be the difference between a regular penny and a million-dollar discovery. Every coin you pass by might be whispering a secret, waiting for the right eye to see it. Imagine holding it, feeling the weight, the history, the potential, knowing that this little copper disc, barely noticed by anyone else, could secure your financial future. This isn't just a coin. It's proof that treasures exist, even in plain sight, and that luck and patience can converge to produce something extraordinary. So I urge you, dig through your change. Check every 1993 penny you come across. Examine them with care, with patience, with excitement. Remember, it's the tiniest details that make all the difference. And while most people will overlook it, you now know what to look for. A coin with no mint mark, perfectly preserved, hiding a secret worth over $1 million. Every so often, a story like this reminds us why coin collecting is more than a hobby. It's a pursuit of hidden history, a hunt for extraordinary moments tucked inside the ordinary. And sometimes, just sometimes, it rewards the patient collector with a reward that changes everything. But this isn't just any penny. This is a 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and it could be worth over $1 million. Yes, a single penny, tucked away in someone's pocket change, capable of changing a life forever. Imagine the surprise, the shock, the disbelief of a collector who stumbled upon it. One moment, they're counting pennies. The next, their heart skips a beat because in their hand is a coin that could be the difference between ordinary life and unimaginable wealth. This is not just a story about money. It's about discovery, luck, and the thrill of uncovering something extraordinary hiding in the most ordinary places. The story begins back in 1987, when the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most of them were standard, easy to overlook. But among them, a small batch was made without a mint mark, an anomaly that should never have existed. And because of that tiny error, these pennies have become some of the most sought-after coins in the country. Collectors are hunting for them like treasure, and for good reason. One of these no-mint mark 1987 pennies has sold for an astonishing $1.8 million. The answer lies in the tiniest details. First, the mint mark, or the lack of it. Most pennies from 1987 carry a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia. But the no-mint mark variety doesn't. That small absence makes all the difference. It's a silent signal to collectors that this coin is rare, almost impossible to find, and potentially life-changing. But identifying it isn't just about looking for a missing letter. You have to examine the coin carefully. Start with the obverse, the side with Lincoln's face. Look at the fine details in his hair, the sharpness of the lettering, the clarity of the date. Then turn the coin over. Examine the Lincoln Memorial. Coins that have been circulated might be worn, but a true no-mint mark specimen often shows subtle hints in the relief and spacing that experts can spot instantly. These are clues you can learn to recognize. While most people are tossing pennies into jars or letting them slip through vending machines, someone could be sitting on a fortune. Imagine checking your change one morning and discovering that the coin you almost didn't notice could be worth $1 million. Or even more. The emotion, the adrenaline, the disbelief. It's like finding buried treasure in your own home. Collectors describe the experience as surreal. They talk about the heart-pounding moment when they realize what they're holding. They remember the exact sound of the coin hitting the table, the texture beneath their fingers, the first glimpse of that date without a mint mark staring back at them. It's a mix of excitement and disbelief, like standing at the edge of a secret world only a few people know exists. These pennies aren't just rare. They're historically significant. They represent a production anomaly, a fluke of the minting process, a moment when perfection slipped just enough to create something extraordinary. That tiny imperfection, that missing mark, has turned an everyday object into $1 million treasure. First, start looking through any 1987 pennies you can find. Check your jars, your drawers, even old collections you might have forgotten about. Hold each penny up to the light. Study the obverse and reverse. Look closely at the date. Look closely at the mint mark. And if you find one without a mint mark, stop everything. This could be the coin that collectors dream about, the coin that turns ordinary change into a life-altering discovery. But don't stop there. Learn the subtler details. Compare your penny with images from reputable coin guides. Look for slight differences in lettering, spacing, and relief. Examine the coin from every angle. A true no-mint mark 1987 Lincoln penny has specific characteristics that seasoned collectors can recognize instantly. And once you spot it, the feeling is indescribable, because you know you might be holding $1 million coin in the palm of your hand that it's easy to underestimate the value of what's right in front of you. Most people never stop to examine their pennies, but that's exactly why opportunities like this exist. The coin world is full of surprises, and sometimes the most extraordinary treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone who knows how to look. The excitement doesn't end when you identify it. Once confirmed, the journey begins. Selling, showcasing, or even just holding such a coin is an experience unlike any other. Every time you glance at it, you're reminded of its rarity, its value, and the incredible twist of fate that brought it into your possession. It's more than money. It's history, it's luck, and it's proof that extraordinary things can happen in ordinary moments. So take a moment to think about your own collection, your own pockets, your own drawers. Every coin could hold a secret. Every penny could be the one that changes everything. And in the case of the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, that secret could be worth over $1 million. This is the kind of story that collectors live for, the thrill of discovery that keeps us searching, examining, and never settling for ordinary. And while most people dismiss pennies as trivial, a few have learned the truth, that sometimes the smallest things carry the greatest rewards. But a single Lincoln penny, hiding in plain sight. A penny from 1973, with no mint mark, that experts say could be worth over $1 million. Yes, $1 million. Right there in your hand. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a story made up for a movie. But this is real. And for decades, Collectors have whispered about it, some claiming they've spotted it, others saying it vanished before their eyes. The 1973 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a secret that could turn ordinary pocket change into unimaginable wealth. The story begins back in the early 1970s, during a time when the U.S. Mint was struggling to keep up with demand. Coins were being pressed at record speeds. Mistakes happened. Tiny, almost invisible errors crept into the production lines. Most went unnoticed. Most were lost to history. But a few, just a few, became priceless. The 1973 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of those anomalies. What makes it extraordinary is its rarity. Most pennies from 1973 bear a mint mark, a tiny D or S that tells you where it was made. But the ones without it? They are exceedingly rare, almost like a whisper from history. The absence of that small letter is what gives this coin its life-changing value. To the untrained eye, it might look like any other penny in your jar. But collectors, the ones who pay attention to every detail, know the signs. The color, the weight, the subtle differences in the lettering. These are the clues. And here's how you can start identifying it for yourself. First, check the date carefully. It must read 1973, clean and legible. Then look closely for the mint mark, or, in this case, the absence of it. If there is no D or S stamped beneath the date, you might be holding something extraordinary, but that's not all. Experts recommend examining the coin's surface. Is the copper tone uniform? Are there unusual imperfections that shouldn't be there? Odd scratches or faint lines from a misaligned die can be the coin's secret fingerprint. Each one tells a story that could be worth over $1 million. Collectors have found these pennies in the most unlikely places. A man cleaning out an old dresser in Ohio discovered one tucked between a stack of letters. A woman sorting through her father's old coins in Texas spotted another buried in a tin of loose change. Every story is different, but every discovery shares the same heartbeat. The moment your world changes with a single coin, imagine the emotion. The shock. One moment, it's just another penny. The next, you realize this small disc of copper could pay off your mortgage, fund a dream vacation, or secure your retirement. $1 million. And it all began as spare change in someone's pocket. And the suspense doesn't stop there. Not every 1973 no mint mark penny is created equal. Condition is everything. Coins that are scratched, dented, or corroded might still have value, but the ones that are preserved, almost as if untouched by time, are the real treasures. A sharp strike, clear details, and smooth edges can make all the difference. Now, don't think this is just about luck. Knowledge matters. Learning to spot the subtle signs, to differentiate between an ordinary penny and a life-changing one, is how collectors consistently find their hidden treasures. Study the font on the date, the spacing of the letters, the sheen of the metal. Each factor is a clue in the puzzle, guiding you closer to a potential fortune. The market can be unpredictable. What seems like a modest find today could skyrocket tomorrow. Dealers and collectors have paid shocking sums for pennies like this. In fact, some have changed hands for nearly $1 million. One coin, one chance, one moment that can alter the trajectory of a lifetime. Think about it. Your old coin jar, the one gathering dust on a shelf, could be hiding the same secret. Every penny, every loose change, is a potential key to unlocking a story worth more than money itself. It's a mix of suspense, mystery, and the thrill of discovery that keeps collectors searching year after year. You don't have to travel across the country, dig through old estates, or buy expensive collections to get your hands on one. Sometimes, the treasure finds you. It's in the coins you've overlooked, the pennies you brushed aside, the ones that slipped through your fingers decades ago. This coin is more than just a rare piece of metal. It's a reminder that extraordinary things often hide in plain sight, that the smallest details can hold unimaginable value, that a moment of curiosity, a second glance at a coin, could be all it takes to stumble upon something remarkable. So take another look at your coins. Examine them carefully. Study the details. Imagine the possibilities. Because the 1973 no mint Mark Lincoln penny is out there, waiting for the next collector to recognize its worth. Waiting for someone to realize that ordinary change can become an extraordinary fortune. And just like the stories of the lucky few who discovered theirs, it could be you. The suspense, the drama, The thrill of knowing that you might be the next person to find a coin that changes everything. That's what makes coin collecting so addictive.